Hey, how you doing? I know I said that I wasn't gonna, talk about political issues for a while anyway. It was just a little time after I finished that last video that I thought about my comment about supporting the president, and I felt I needed to clear the air of a lot of misconceptions about President Trump. And now, for a good, I'd say about first year of his administration, I would hear about people hating Trump. And it was just a blind hatred. And basically, I just attributed that to the fact that they were just sore losers, who refused to accept the election results. And that's what I thought. Until I started hearing arguments from now former friends and other people. And they all seem to include 5 or 6 very specific arguments as to why they hate President Trump and why he's the worst president, etc., etc., etc. Okay. And one argument I heard was about him throwing temper tantrums. Now, I watch Fox News. Now, Fox News is always live with Trump whenever he speaks, wherever it is. Unedited, it is off the cuff, it is raw, it is not edited, it is not pre-recorded, all live. Okay, so you get, what you see is what you get. Okay, now, one of the first things that I heard was, it's so absurd now. Well, alright, let's start with the easy ones and I'll think of the others. Okay. Oh yeah, about him throwing temper tantrums. And I thought to myself, I have been watching him, and I have never, ever seen him throw a temper tantrum. Ever. And I thought, well, maybe they're talking about the fact that at rallies, he is, very animated, But I don't call that temper tantrums. I just call that it's a rally, like sis, boom, boom, sis, boom, ba, Until I saw what happened after a session during the shutdown, the partial government shutdown, where Trump goes to the meeting with Pelosi and Schumer, and while Pelosi and Schumer kept saying, if you will end the government shutdown, we will talk about whatever you want to talk about. But the thing was that the shutdown was based on the fact that they refused to do anything about the border. So, or to get money for the wall, right? So, so he comes to the meeting and he says, Pelosi says, no, she doesn't say that. But she said something ahead of that meeting or something or other about how something negative about him. I can't remember what now. That he's involved in a cover-up or whatever. But or that may have been at a later meeting or something like that. I don't remember. I get them all confused. But anyway, so they go to the meeting and Trump says, "Are you going to give me, money for the wall?" And Pelosi says, "No, I'm not." And then Trump calmly said, "Okay, then we have nothing to talk about. Bye." And walks out the door. And then Pelosi comes out with Schumer, and she says, "Boy, he threw a temper tantrum the way he walked out of the meeting." And then later on, he's asking his, people, says, "Did I throw a temper tantrum in there? Did I raise my voice? Did I pound on the table? Did I do any of that?" They said, "No. You were calm as a cucumber. You just walked out of the meeting," which is what he talks about in a book I think he wrote about the art of, I don't know, art of the deal, I think is what it is, right? That if you were given a bad deal, if someone gives you a bad deal, are you obligated to agree to a deal that is bad? Okay, if you don't agree with a deal that is bad, you could walk away. That doesn't mean that it's failed. Doesn't mean that you held a temper tantrum. Why? Just because you said, "There's nothing to talk about." No, there's nothing to talk about. That's not throwing a temper tantrum. That's saying, "Okay, no, there's nothing to talk about. Hey, I encountered something here." Same thing now. But that's part of the deal. If it's a bad deal, hey, I'm not going to agree to a bad deal. People go through that through life, right? You are going to have an arrangement with somebody, and you want to make a deal with them, or you want to arrange something, and you present your side, and he presents his side, but you don't like what he's offering, and it's a bad deal. Are you throwing a temper tantrum if you say, "No, thank you"? No, you're just saying, "No, we have nothing to talk about." So, the argument that he throws temper tantrums just because what Pelosi said he does, or Schumer said he does, I have never seen him shout and scream and pound tables and flail their arms. I've never seen that. No one's ever seen that. But they call it a temper tantrum. So, now, another thing, which I thought was dead since 2016. And that was about his quote-unquote pussy remark. Okay, that he disrespects women, disrespects currently, based on what he said over 10 years ago. And the fact that he apologized during the era of the debates, where he stays, this has been brought up of an old tape from over 10 years ago when I was a totally different person, and I said a lot of things and done a lot of things that were stupid and wrong, and that is one of them. And I apologize. I'm not that man anymore. I'm a different now. I don't endorse that attitude anymore, and I apologize to anyone who's offended. And the deal was ended. That whole issue was ended. He apologized and moved on. Now, what's really interesting, okay, they rejected his apology. Everybody on the liberal side of the aisle rejected his apology, say it doesn't count or whatever. But when Joe Biden apologizes, they applaud. Okay, so there's evidence of double standard right there. When Trump apologizes for something bad that he did in his past, okay, and he apologizes for it now, that's rejected. But if Biden apologizes for what he said in the past, hey, they applaud his apology. Okay, so you gotta think about that. What's good for the goose should be good for the gander. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, kids in cages and separating them at the border. Okay, the picture that was circulated was debunked at the time it appeared, that it was a picture taken during the Obama administration, and that Trump does not keep kids in cages. That was a little propaganda spin. Okay, now again, I may lose some subscribers over this, but I do want to set the record straight here about my position, okay, especially regarding our president, okay? So, you can set up, I've been set up twice in life. Twice. With a narrative that wasn't true. Okay, so every time that Trump is hit with a narrative that isn't true, it hits pretty close to home. Okay, to be falsely accused of doing something I'm not doing. Okay? Now, separating children from their parents. Isn't that what we do with American parents who break the law and their children go into protective child services? They're separating from their parents because their parents broke the law. Okay. This one husband, now the wife, the mother didn't do it, the father did. The father was holding a meth lab in his trailer. Okay. So he ended up putting his wife and daughter in harm's way. Okay. But if both parents, I think there was one parent, it was a lone parent, and conditions in the home was unsanitary, and the children didn't have any clean clothes. There was garbage around. There was gnats. There was roaches. It was an unsafe environment. And the mother, I remember this was an episode of Cops. Okay, you can check some of the tapes, some of the older episodes of Cops that I watched as proof of this. But I'm not making this up. Okay. There was a segment on the show Cops where I don't remember what the report was, but they come into the home and there's literally trash everywhere. Dirty dishes piled up in the sink. No, and the babies are crying. And she's like, oh, please don't take my babies away. Please don't take my babies away. Ma'am, this is an unsafe environment. You've got roaches, you've got rats, you've got maggots, you've got gnats, you got dirty dishes in the sink, you got junk thrown all over the place. I don't even see the floor. And the children are crying. There's nothing in the refrigerator. Okay? This is an unsafe environment. Now, if they separate that mother from those children, isn't that the same what they're doing at the border when the parents or maybe child traffickers are doing something illegal and they separate the children? Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that the same thing? What's the argument? What is that terrible policy about separating children from their parents if the parents did something illegal? And coming into this country illegally is a crime. Okay? And, that, you know, that is a crime. And now I recently heard that a presidential candidate and somebody in Congress, okay, is going into Mexico and advising these people how to sneak into the country. That these people, one Democrat presidential candidate and one member of Congress, is trying to create fraud and the fact that you gotta sneak in. Why aren't you proud? You feel so compelled and defiant. There's nothing wrong with this. Well, then why do you gotta sneak them in? It reminds me of when I saw a couple of Cops episodes where these guys who are caught, they say, oh, it's not my pot. Oh, it's not my cocaine. No, it's not mine. It's not mine. Or the guy who was being frisked, and they admit that they have a heroin needle stuck in their butt. Okay. I'm sorry, but if you gotta go through these, through this, where you're not claiming the drug is yours, where you gotta hide the drug in your body so the police don't find it, aren't you saying by those actions that you know you're doing something illegal, that you're doing something wrong? Because if you felt vindicated that I have every right to smoke pot, and I have every right to take drugs, and you can't tell me what to do, officer, then why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Why don't you say, yes, officer, that's mine. That's mine. And I have every right to do it, because it's right. Why don't they do that? Why do they gotta hide the syringe, the needle in their butt? Or this other one where the woman stashed marijuana in a bra. Okay, so the police wouldn't find it. If you're so proud to do these things, if you feel you have a legal right to it, why do you hide it? Why hide it? Why not say claim on it? And say, damn right, officer, that's mine. That's mine, and I'm damn proud to do it because it's what I want to do. They don't do that. They don't do that because they know it's a crime. They know they shouldn't be doing it. That's where there's something wrong up there. It's the same thing with these one presidential candidates and the other member of Congress, who they feel so compelled that what President Trump is doing wrong, what he's doing is wrong, and that I'll get you into the country. I'll get you to the country, and I'll do it right out in the open, and so this to the president. I'm going to do it. No, I better not do that. I'll sneak you in. I'll sneak you into the country. Excuse me, doesn't that mean that you know it's wrong? If you gotta sneak somebody in, it reminds me of the olden days when, I think like with Cheech and Chong or whatever, where you go into the drive-in, and to avoid having to pay extra for other people, you sneak them in by putting them in the trunk. Okay, you put them in the trunk, you go through the entrance, there's only 2 people in the front seat, you pay for 2 tickets, you get into the drive-in, you back up against the fence, and you say, okay, there's nobody around here, I'll get you guys out of the trunk. Because it's wrong. It's wrong. Okay. Now, next case. Okay. What he said after Charlottesville. Okay. Now, the common quote I hear is Trump said there were good people on both sides. Period. Nothing else said. I'm sorry, but that's not how it went. That is not how it went. I saw the whole conference, the whole press conference. He said, and the total quote is, you only quoted half of that statement. The other half of the statement that you keep ignoring is, there were also bad people on both sides. Ta-da. So, when you only quote half of a statement, and you're making it sound like it's the total, complete statement, that's being a little deceptive and unfair. Okay? There were good people on both sides, and there were bad people on both sides. And he said that in the same breath. So, that's that issue. Okay. So yes, he did say there were good people on both sides, but in the same breath he added there was also bad people on both sides. So, if you're going to quote him correctly. Next one. When players, NFL players, started with Colin Pasternak, or whatever the hell his name is, okay? When they all took a knee during the national anthem, they all did not stand for the national anthem. And what did President Trump say? They said, get the son of a bitches off the field. Now, what mainstream media did was they twisted the words to suggest that Trump was talking about all African Americans are sons of bitches. But he didn't care what race the people are. You, mainstream media and the liberals, you're the one who cares. The president doesn't care. Okay? The president cares that unemployment among blacks is the lowest ever. He's very proud of that. But because he says, get the son of the bitches off the field, he was talking about everybody that wasn't standing. That's all he cared about. He cared to the fact that a group of people were not standing for the national anthem. That was it. That was the complaint. The complaint had nothing to do with race. Never does. He's not the one that talks about race. Mainstream media does, not Trump. I'll give you another one. When he talked about Haiti, okay, or talked about this shithole, right? Called it a shithole. So, what does mainstream media do? Mainstream media says, that he's calling an African American or African American city or island, whatever, with the black people a shithole country. He was calling the conditions out. He cared about the conditions the people were living in. He said nothing about race. Nothing about race. He saw the conditions. I mean, hell, he could call Los Angeles and San Francisco shitholes too. He called them that too. And there are white people out there. So race has nothing to do with it. He cared about the conditions people were living in. Is why he called them shitholes. Okay. I think that's about everything I can think of regarding President Trump. You know, I've lost friends, longtime friends, over people's hatred of President Trump. You know, and you know, I admit at the very beginning, when it came to voting, I heard a lot of claims by, you know, mainstream media, because I was watching mainstream media, against Trump, not to vote for him. But when I was left with the decision to either vote for him or Hillary, I thought of during the times when she was running against Obama, you know, and everybody was talking about how much she lied. She lied about this and she lied about that. Oh, I was under sniper fire. She wasn't. You know. And so I voted for Trump because I didn't want to vote for Hillary. And that was really the only thing. And when it came time to vote, and then I was confronted with the choice, Trump or Clinton, I sat there for a good few minutes, pondering, oh my God, oh, I hope I vote the right person in. So I sat there and I said, oh my God, I hope I'm doing the right thing. Sorry, I had to interrupt recording here for a minute. And I said, okay, I'm going to press Trump. God help me if I'm doing the wrong thing. God help me if I'm really voting for a bad person. And I thought, well, they're both bad, so I'm picking the lesser of the two evils. And then, when election day was over, and I saw so many people had voted for Trump, and I thought, well, I guess I'm in good company, you know. And then I was advised not to watch mainstream media. I stopped watching the network TV. I stopped watching CBS and The Price is Right. I stopped watching ABC and Jeopardy. I stopped watching the local Fox News with People's Court. I stopped watching Law and Order SVU at NBC. I stopped watching all of those. I stopped watching the Game Show Network. I stopped watching A&E with their live TV shows. I stopped watching CW with Steve Wilkos show. I stopped watching all of that. And NBC with Dr. Phil. I stopped watching the networks. I don't watch the networks anymore. I don't watch any TV at all anymore. All I watch is Fox News. And since I've been watching Fox News, I see the comparisons between Fox News and what happens with the other networks. So, I lost one very, very, very long time, super friend. You know, I was, so, like I said, I just wanted to explain my support for Trump. Because whoever you are who do not support Trump and hear this from me and say, how the hell could he support a racist? How could he support, this, that, and the other? Oh, another thing too. They keep calling it an Muslim ban. Oh my God. It's not a Muslim ban. They keep calling it a Muslim ban. It's a travel ban, which includes a country in South America. Hello? Are there any Muslims living in South America? Please, get your facts straight before you make such grandiose claims, alright? It's not a Muslim ban if the ban includes a country where there are no Muslims. Okay? It was a travel ban. Travel ban, that was it. Especially since it included a country in South America. I don't remember the country. It could have been El Salvador, it could have been Venezuela, I don't know what, okay? It was one of those countries in South America where there are no Muslims. Wow. So it's a Muslim ban that doesn't include Muslims. That's smart. That's very smart. So this is a Muslim ban that includes a country that has no Muslims. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's a great name. Great name. There are no Muslims in my country. Why are you calling it a Muslim ban if there are no Muslims in my country? But anyway, okay. So, so I just want to straighten that out. Of all the misconceptions and misquotes, and he's been trying to get Congress to put forth a ruling to help with the issue down on the border, with the overcrowding. First they kept denying it was a crisis, and I was watching, oh, it's a manufactured crisis, it's a manufactured crisis, it's a manufactured crisis. Uh-oh, it's a real crisis. But it's Trump's fault. We now finally admit there's a crisis, but guess what? It's Trump's fault. And meanwhile, then what were you going off all over the place by saying it's manufactured? So, this is why I don't watch mainstream media. Because first they call it a manufactured crisis. Then they finally admit it is a crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis. But it's still a crisis. President Trump would say there's a crisis at the border. And you keep saying, no, it's manufactured. And now you admit it's a crisis. And then you call it a humanitarian and say Trump is wrong. And Trump kept asking Congress to work. But they don't want to work. They don't want to solve the problem. And then they have the audacity to complain about the overcrowded conditions that exist because the numbers that they kept reporting were rejected by so much mainstream media. The fabricated numbers. They're not that many people. They're not as many people as they claim. Oh my gosh, it's overcrowded. Wow, they were right all along. But we're not going to admit that. It's, look at the conditions that they're living in. This is Trump's doing. And all Trump can do is just shrug his shoulders. And I kept telling you, I kept begging you, Congress, please help, give some money, don't give them money. Oh, and what was it, Wayfair wanted to donate beds to those centers, and employees went on strike and did a walkout in protest of Wayfair sending beds down there, and they complained that their kids are sleeping on the floor. So what does Wayfair do? Wayfair says, guess what? We're going to help. We're going to donate some beds so the kids don't sleep on the floor. And their employees object to it, say, no, don't send them beds, don't send them blankets, don't send them anything. Don't send them anything. And let them sleep on the floor. Let them sleep without blankets. Let them sleep without supplies. Let them live without supplies. That way we can blame President Trump for it. Because there's no other rational explanation as to what they're objecting to. People everywhere are trying to step in and help, and they don't want it. They don't want to help the situation at the border. So, I don't understand where this rationale comes in. Wayfair wants to help. Wayfair's employees say don't help, and we're going to protest you helping those migrants at the border with new beds and everything else. Don't give them new beds. Let us just complain about conditions at the border. You know, I do not understand this. I don't. I tell you, as I said, I may lose subscribers over this. But this has also been on my mind too. When I saw the news report that Wayfair's employees were protesting against the company sending beds down there. Free beds, free blankets, free supplies to help with the people down there. And their employees say, don't help them. Let them sleep on the floor. Let them not have clean water. Let them not have diapers. Let them not have, whatever. Don't help them. We object to you helping those migrants at the border. And they're saying America is supposed to be compassionate, and that Republicans are not, but they are. They're so compassionate and caring about the welfare of the people coming in that they don't want to make them comfortable. Okay? Please explain that to me. Please. I don't understand that at all. So, I think I covered everything. I'm to do with the kids in cages. My God. Oh my God. Will you change the record already? That was already debunked. by circulating a 2014 picture. All right. Okay, that's enough. But anyway, I just wanted to clear the air about my support for Trump and why I support and why I call myself conservative, patriot, you know. I didn't want to go on this long, but I did want to clear the air about this, and I did want to straighten this out. I wanted you to understand, as my subscribers, why I'm rooting for our president and why I feel he's the greatest president we've ever had. And then I had one last thing, right? I said, he cares about us. He's doing this for us. He's not doing this for himself. The wall is not a vanity project. That was the most absurd thing I ever heard. So to protect our citizens is a vanity for him? Why? Because he said it's going to be a beautiful wall? Hell, you got a project, wouldn't you want it to be beautiful? Or do you want to do a half-assed job and have it not look that good? Okay? So, anyhow. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Pelosi says, oh, walls are immoral. Yeah, why do you have one? The open door policy. Hey, don't lock your front door. Same thing. Same thing. Someone breaks into your house. You let them stay. That compassionate. And Trump is trying to be compassionate, and Wayfair is trying to be compassionate by helping those at the border. And compassionate liberals are dispassionate to help them by protesting against it. So, anyhow, that's it. That's it. I'm going to run out of time again. Okay, because I went on a little longer than I wanted to. But I at least wanted to share my side of the story as to my support for Trump and my feeling of being a conservative patriot. A conservative patriot supporting Trump who advocates for same-sex relationships. One person that I know who happens to be a lesbian refused to talk to me. He said, you support Trump, I can't talk to you. I said, but I support same-sex marriage. You can't support same-sex marriage if you support Trump. Why can't I? Who's going to tell me not to? Who's going to keep me from doing it? You going to keep me from doing it? Who's going to keep me from doing it? I support same-sex marriage. I support same-sex relationships. And don't tell me that I can't. You tell me I can, I'm definitely going to. Watch me. So, the whole argument's stupid. So anyway, I'm going to run out of time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I think I've talked all this out. So I think from here on, I won't be talking about any political issues. Thanks for watching. I'll check out later. Take care, guys. Love all of you. Whatever you believe. See you soon. Bye.